Harmony in diversity is the watchword for this development expert from Madagascar.
I guess you may be skeptical if I tell you that I'm your typical African. But I am. And I experience most of the struggles the people of my continent are faced with. Like the estimated 2 million recently displaced Nigerian, I know how devastating war can be. My family and I witnessed the horrors of the 1994 genocide in Rwanda, where we lost some of our friends, all our belongings, and parts of our hearts. But today, I've learned from these same people how precious the spirit of forgiveness and reconciliation is. And I emulate their endeavor to go forward no matter what. Like the 23 million people in Mozambique, I experienced firsthand how bad our medical care can be. At the age of 4, I had to undergo a second major surgery, only a few days after the first one, just because of lack of hygiene in the operating room. But today, I enjoy a pretty good health. Thank you. Like the 30% unemployed population in Gambia, I know how difficult finding a job in our continent is. More than 500 applications I've submitted throughout my career were rejected. But today, I have the opportunity to work in the continent's intergovernmental organization. Yes, Africa, thank you. Yes, Africa, my continent, is known for its struggles. But it has taught me that great opportunities are always hiding behind these difficulties. Yes, I've been rejected more than 500 times, but it prepared me for the 501st position I've applied for. Our role as servant leaders is to be that eye, to help people identify these opportunities. Our role as leaders at the service of our fellow citizens is to be that hand which will cause them to seize these opportunities. For instance, despite the major population growth, which generated more than 50 million extra poor in Africa from 1990 to 2012, we can highlight the potential of a young and low-cost workforce right where we are. Another example, 60% of Africans do not have access to electricity, and we are using less than 1% of the continent's energy production potential. Though it could be a major setback, we can showcase how big an opportunity this is for the market, energy market. As a Mandela Fellow, let me quote this great man. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person to another. Yes, we live in a continent where bad governance, poverty, lack of education, lack of medical care, gender issues, and much more exists. It's not about the situation. It's not really about the situation. It's what we do with it that matters.
In the Gold Coast, golden opportunities emerge, according to this young entrepreneur.
Africa's population boom is both danger and opportunity. The word danger in there got me scared. And like you, I had to read and research further. And this is what I found out. The author of the article is David Palin of the Financial Times, a beautiful article. You can check it out. He said, amongst other things, that one of the great structural changes in the coming decades will be the huge relative shift of the global population to Africa. And the reasons were simple. Today, more than 1 billion people live on our continent. And it's pretty the same as in Europe and the Americas. But the good thing is, both continents have stopped growing. So Europe and the Americas have stopped growing, but Africa is still growing. By contrast, we will double our population to 2 billion by 2050. Asia would also add some 1 billion to reach 5 billion and also stop growing. But Africa will still grow. By 2100, at least 4 billion of the world's 11 billion people will be on the continent of Africa. It even gets interesting when you look at the population of the youth. At the moment, Africa has the youngest population in the world, with a median age of 20, and that compares to Europe's median age of 43. There are currently 200 million Africans between the ages of 15 and 24. As a matter of fact, by 2035, more than half of all new job seekers in the world will be Africans. And that means the issue of job creation is the biggest challenge our continent faces at the moment. By these figures, what it means is that we would have to create 1.1 billion new jobs in the next 18 years. 18 years. Africa would have to create 1.1 billion new jobs for all our youth to get engaged in jobs in the next 20 years or 35 years, as it were. So really, I mean, for the country I come from, Ghana, 48% of the youth are without jobs. 48%. And that's huge. I mean, it comes with all the threats. You know them better than I do. The issues of crime, the issues of terrorism, the issues of insurgency. These are real issues our continent faces if we don't fix this challenge. And of course, the president of Ghana, in a recent Meet the Press, said this, and I quote, "I do not need to repeat that the greatest challenge we face is the creation of jobs. Young people are very anxious about not finding jobs." Ladies and gentlemen, I would want to submit to you one more time that our greatest challenge as a continent is job creation. And we had to act as youth of this continent. And I took the action because of my fundamental beliefs. A belief in a world where every youth who is able and willing to work would have a job. So what did we do? We came out with a simple innovation and yet profound. The innovation was to organize a youth entrepreneurship summit. The Youth Entrepreneurship Summit is more like a conference of youth who are desirous of getting into entrepreneurship. So we provide them skills training, we provide them information, networking opportunities, mentorship. The dream is to train 10,000 youth in the next 10 years, directly. 10,000 youth. And we are targeting 15 to 35 years in Ghana's western region. There are about 300,000 of them. So we want to change the mindset, move them from job seekers to job creators. Because one thing we've realized is that majority of us left school as job seekers. So moving around seeking for jobs that are non-existent. And we had to come in to change that mindset so people can then create their own jobs. And that's basically what we've done. That's the story. Last year, the Youth Entrepreneurship Summit we organized, 253 people came. As we speak, 12 of them have launched their own startups. I'm sharing this story with you because this is not just my story. It's your story. It's the African story. It's the story of what we can do if we decide to take action. If we decide to research, to analyze, to plan, to organize, to lead, and to execute differently with vision and ambition, we can change our continent. And I'm hopeful that in 50 years from now, it will be said that our generation indeed changed Africa. And it's because of your stories. The story of my friend at the incredible University of San Diego, Stephen Ndungu, a 23-year-old from Kenya's Moi University, who wants to help fix the waste management challenge in Eldoret town. It is also because of your story. I mean, stories of Muzalema, who is producing safe delivery kits for poor women in rural areas of Zambia. These stories make me hopeful that Africa can change.
There is a diversity of challenges to surmount for any diverse group of people, and these young leaders offer their own unique solutions, passions, and efforts to complement each other for Africa's progress and development. In each of them, we see components of a larger generational hope, an aspiration to be achieved, one effort at a time. My name is Andry Ngilale. Until next time, lead where you are, and followers will find you.